Perfectly Imperfect is the movie I'm reviewing today, guys. This movie is executive produced and produced by Maurice. Obviously, you can find this movie on Maurice TV. The director of this movie is Okay in Fine. A quick recap of this movie is a woman who is in her mid-30s and she's fighting to find herself a life partner and ended up falling in love with Oloshoman. Don't really know how there's pressure on women who are in their mid-30s. The pressure is on them from society, family, and obviously herself. So that's what this movie is going to give you if you are watching it. What I like about this movie, let me start with cinematography. I was surprised to see one of the best cinematography from Maurice because I hardly, this was pretty much a very good cinematography. The lighting was so crisp. I was like, okay, that's nice. And the camera angles for some scenes were really good. The zooming, the movement, I was really impressed. So yeah, cinematography was pretty good for this movie, which I like. So that was really good. Another thing I love about this movie is, there was a baby introduction to this movie. She got pregnant, had a baby, and I was surprised to actually see a baby. And they were taking care of the baby, they were carrying the baby was crying, they were feeding the baby. I was like, okay, that's nice. So to control a baby on set is not easy. So for Maurice to have a baby introduced into his movie, and I was like, okay, that's good. He's able to put a baby into, because they could have said, okay, the baby is sleeping upstairs or the baby is sleeping in his room, and we wouldn't know if the baby even existed. The way they would tell the story that the baby is there but the baby is not there, But no, we were able to see a baby and they took care of the baby. I was like, okay, I was impressed. So the introduction of the baby scenes, everything, that was a good one. Another thing I love about this movie was the romance between Onyii and Maurice. I think Onyii and Maurice, they pretty much try as much as possible to put in a little bit effort when it comes to the romance part between them. They bring out a little chemistry between them, and that's really recommendable. Most of their movies I've seen together, they were able to bring a little chemistry between them, and I appreciate that a lot. The romance between them, the way they were kissing, they were doing the things on bed, I'm like, okay, they tried. So for me, that's an improvement. To be able to channel that romance part, chemistry part of you with your co-actor on set is really nice. So I appreciate them for trying their best in terms of the romance, and that was something I appreciate for them for doing that in this movie. And the last thing that I like about this movie is the two friends of Onyii. Yeah, the two friends were so intense, and I love the two friends so much. And I love how they also had their separate storylines immersed into one. Those friends that you have that do not have everything together, and they are jealous of their friend who also equally doesn't have everything together aside money. I love that two friends, the separate storylines, and how they were able to manage their homes and also act with Onyii. So yes, I love that segment part of this movie. That was really, really cool. And I also appreciate Maurice for not just centering this movie on Onyii, because the title can still go for her two friends in this movie as well. So that was really, really cool. Now, what I don't like about this movie, let me start with Maurice. You guys already know how I feel about him. When you watch too much movie from Maurice, it becomes boring. You don't see the versatility in his role. You see everything he adds are the same, like facial expression, emotions, display of talent, display of movie roles, Everything is just the same with Maurice Sam, like average acting, mid acting. He's not pushing himself in any way or factor. He always wants to be a lead role character in his movies and on his channel. There's no twist. Like his acting is just boring, because we have watched too much Maurice Sam movie, because he's in every movie, like every movie that comes out in a week he's in like 2 or 3, and in all those movies he's acting the same way. There's no role that he's taking that you say, okay, this is a different Maurice Sam you are seeing. No, so it is boring. Basically in this movie he was boring. When he was trying to speak pidgin, it was not given, guys. And also Onyii and Les. Oh, as someone who is in their 30s and they are fighting for their life to get a partner and things like that, and you are drinking yourself to stupor, it was just boring. Another boring act. So imagine you give this role to Bolaji, or you give this role to, Bimbo, or you even give this role to Chioma. I mean Chioma Okafor, not Chioma Ohora. Guys, imagine what she could do with this role. I wasn't feeling it. Maybe someone else might feel her role, but I wasn't feeling Onyii in this movie at all. Something was just off. It's like she's forcing herself to add the character that was given to her, and it wasn't given. Aside the romance part that she and Maurice did, every other thing was just not given for me, especially when she's complaining about her life issues. Nah, I was watching the thing with my own facial expression. I'm like, let this scene go fast, let me know what this movie is about. I was just not feeling it, seriously. Another thing I didn't like about this movie are 2 things. Obviously is the frame size. I hate the frame size. You guys already know I complain about that always. Then the time. This movie does not deserve 2 hours. Trust me, it does not deserve 2 hours. It doesn't. Lastly, but not the least thing that I want to talk about is the fact that it's getting boring when Maurice Sam is always the lead character in his movies. Give chance to another person, add supporting cast. In that way, we see you in a different character. When you're acting main character all the time and you are acting lover, it's the same thing all the damn time, and it becomes boring. Give that role to somebody else, and you being the supporting cast, your face will still be on the flyer or on the thumbnail, obviously, and you're still gonna get your views. Come on, let's see you in a different character. It's just becoming boring, seriously. And on that note, I'll give this movie a 2/10. And if you're a fan, I'm sure you might have watched this movie already. It's not really a movie I recommend for anybody, seriously, but yeah, then again, it is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. I'll see you guys in my next movie review.